is it still worth to buy the M1 MacBook Pro from the 2020? Let's find that out in this video. Hey, what's up? It's always me, Johnny, and welcome to my new video. So today we're gonna talk about the M1 MacBook Pro, but the 13 inches model, not the 14 inches, because I have both here. And I did some tests between these two laptops. If you want to see those videos, just check on my channel. You will find like 2 videos where I compare these two laptops in synthetic benchmarks and also in real life benchmark, we can say. Especially if you are interested into video editing stuff. Anyway, in this video, we are gonna just talk about this 13 inches model right here. Don't mind the fact that it is all gray because it is a cover. But anyway, we're gonna talk about only of this laptop right here. Most of the people are saying that this laptop is not worth anymore. And I've said it actually in my videos too, but we can go a little bit deeper than that and say the pros and the cons of this laptop actually, because it is not that bad of a deal, we can say. So let's start saying what we are comparing this laptop to. So the cheaper version of this laptop, it is the MacBook Air of 2020. So always 13 inches. And as I said, it is a lot cheaper. I mean, not by a lot, but cheaper than this MacBook Pro. And for a higher price, we have the new MacBook Pro 14 inches base model, and the MacBook Pro 13 inches, it is just in the middle of these two. And of course, having the same chip of the MacBook Air, and just because it is more expensive than the MacBook Air, anybody says that it is worth to buy or the MacBook Air, or if you want to buy a MacBook Pro, you should buy the newest MacBook Pro. But there are some factors that nobody consider about of this MacBook Pro. This has some more feature, we can say, more than a MacBook Air, because of course, if it wasn't like that, it was a useless laptop. For example, it does have a brighter screen. It doesn't look that much brighter, but it is brighter, trust me. And it does not mean just only under the direct sunlight, but if you are in a very bright room with a lot of windows, just trust me that those 100 nits of difference makes really a big difference. Then it does have a little bit better of speakers, because probably for the thicker chassis and probably the build quality, it does have some better speakers. They do sound a little bit better than a MacBook Air, so that's a plus for me. And I am comparing most of this feature to the MacBook Air because it is the closest one to the price. And as I said before, if you want to spend like a lot more, like here, more than 1,000 euros, you can go for the newest MacBook Pro, but I mean, it's more than 1,000 euros. So I'm comparing most of it to the MacBook Air, of course. Anyway, we got more battery life because the battery inside of this MacBook Pro right here, it is a little bit bigger than the MacBook Air. And so it does last longer, and it does make really a big difference. It doesn't seem like this big of a difference, but you can see some tests online and it does make a lot of difference because there are some hours between one model to another. So just double check that, because in a laptop, I think one of the most important factor, it is the battery life. Then on this version, so the MacBook Pro, it does have one more core on the GPU, and it's not a lot and mostly depends on what you will do with your laptop, of course. But if you are doing like medium to kind of heavy workloads, that extra GPU cores, it does make a little bit of a difference. And with that, of course, it comes also a fan inside that somebody says that it does not make any difference, or pretty much the performance are similar. And I would say yes in the short time, but in the long time, like if you do like sustain heavy workload, like maybe rendering a video, as I do always on this laptop, it does make a difference, because that fans, it is gonna just cool your CPU and GPU better, and so the performance will be sustained through the whole process. It does not throttle like the MacBook Air. So as I said before, if you are gonna use your laptop for like very light workloads, so you don't need pretty much this laptop. But if you are doing like some medium to heavy workload, this laptop could make a little bit of a difference. Then we are talking about this one right here. So the touch bar, that actually most people just hates it, but I kind of love it. I was kind of disappointed because Apple just removed it from the latest model, but I was using it pretty much every day, and there are some cool apps that you can integrate with the touch bar, or maybe some quick shortcut that are very useful, and it was kind of cool to have it on your laptop. But this is a very subjective thing, so you have to try it for a while to see if you like it or maybe if you don't like it. Anyway, it is something more if you compare to the MacBook Air, in my opinion. Then the cons of this laptop, of course, are first of all the price, because it is more expensive than a MacBook Air, and then the storage, because if you take a standard MacBook Air but you buy the version with 512 gigabytes of storage, you will get also that extra GPU cores, and so you will pay the same price as this MacBook Pro. But this MacBook Pro has only a 256 gigabytes internal storage, that it is like very small. You have to buy for sure an external SSD or hard disk, whatever you want, but you should have like an external memory if you buy this laptop. And that could be one of the cons, in my opinion, because as I said, for the same price you can just get double the storage with the MacBook Air, but here you will get like only 256 gigabytes. But anyway, for the rest you will get pretty much the MacBook Air, but just better. So I think the price difference, it is fair still now, and actually you can find a lot of deals for this laptop, so maybe use refurbished or any of those, and maybe you can find it for the same price as the MacBook Air, so that would be a great deal in my opinion. Anyway, that was my opinion on this MacBook Pro, because anybody is saying that it is pretty much the worst deal that you can do right now, but in my opinion it is not, because I have it right here, and I think that people that have already this laptop can agree with me that it is not that bad of a deal. I mean, of course, if you can find like the MacBook Air for a very low price, this one, it is pretty much useless, but if you can find this one for a good price, it is a very good deal. That it is my honest opinion. And if you like this video, just hit a like button down below because it's free, and also subscribe to my channel so you will be updated for the next videos coming up on this channel. And of course, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye for now.